Believe it or not, there is only one reason you are going to get the job you apply for. It's the skills that you have. You can be a great sports fan. You can love basketball. You can like hunting and fishing. You can like going for long walks in the park. But none of that is important to the actual getting the job. What is important to that employer is your skills. Think about it. An employer is only going to hire you for two reasons. One, he has to. It's some type of regulatory or compliance position that you have to fill because the government tells him to. But the most important reason that he's going to hire you is because you can make him money. That is the main reason the employer is going to hire you. And what do you have that that employer wants that is going to make him money? It's the skills that you bring to the table. He doesn't want to know about whether you like fishing. Doesn't really want to know if you're a big sports fan. Doesn't want to know what your hobbies are. Really doesn't want to know whether you're married or not. He's not there to date you. He is there to try to identify whether you have the skills that when you are in this job, you will be able to make him money. Now, he might ask those questions. All right? He might be being nice, and maybe there is some reason for it. At the end of the day, the person with the best skills to fit that job is going to be the one who gets hired. So if an employer is hiring you for your skills, what do you think you ought to be talking about in that interview?
Skills.
Exactly. If your skills are going to be making money for that employer, what should you be talking about?
Your skills.
Exactly. And if it's between you and another candidate, and they have to decide between you and you, who's going to win? The one who talks about their skills the most. Exactly. Now, talking about skills is incredibly important. Now, you are going to hear stories from people, your friends, people you know, saying, well, you know, I went in to that interview and I sat there and I saw he fished. I saw it. And so we talked about fishing the entire time I was in that interview. And he gave me that job because we fish. Now, it may happen like that, all right? I cannot say that that doesn't happen, but you got to play the odds. You're there to talk about your skills. Most employers, the vast majority, are going to hire you because of your skills, not because you like fishing. Matter of fact, if that employer is only hiring people who seem to really like fishing, and fishing doesn't have anything to do with this job, that company's not going to be around very long because they are not bringing in people based on their skills. So knowing your skills, knowing how to describe your skills, being able to give examples about your skills is not only important to the interview, it's the most critical piece of the interview. One thing I need to make sure everyone is thinking about during this next section when we talk about skills is don't forget your military experience. As a veteran, you had a job. That job was serving in the military. The skills that you had in the military are maybe critical to getting that job. A lot of times people come out and they say, well, that didn't really apply. There was nothing there that I did that applies to this job. Well, one of the things we want you to be thinking about is how do those skills apply? You need to be able to say to an employer, I also served in the military, because frankly, veterans in high demand. People want to hire veterans. People feel good about hiring veterans. And it comes down to you and someone else with the same skill set. You want to make sure that the employer knows that you earned some of your skills while in the military. That might give you just the edge you need. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to talk about your skills in a little bit when we get to some of the next sections.